Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool single slot payphone, and this is Matt's telephone from Florida. And so basically it's in really good shape because Matt had taken this telephone and had it powder coated, and the front of it is in very good condition also. And normally we would take and put in informational cards for the customer, but Matt's going to do something really cool here. He's going to take and have a printing company print him up some informational cards, and he's got like a garage, so he's going to call him like Matt's Garage or something. So that's a really cool idea. And so he'll take care of that part of it. Now, this telephone does not have a T key, so you can't get in it unless it has a T key. There is no locks in it, and he's not interested in having the locks back in the phone because they're not really needed, and how often does somebody just carry a T key around with them? So we're going to get him a T key, and also we're going to do a conversion on this so he can use this telephone in his home. And we're going to get rid of this main PC board in here. That's the programmable type board. And I've had a lot of phones in from other companies who will take this board and kind of finagle the board a little bit to where they get dial tone out of it, but then the customer ends up getting the phone back, and over a period of time it'll lose its programming again. And so really what we do to these boards is take them out. They're not going to be of any use to Matt and any other customer, so we remove them and we install a different type network so that they don't have to worry about down the line losing dial tone and then having to be sent somewhere again to be repaired. So we remove that. Now we're going to get this unit. This was kind of hanging here. This is the coin chute. We're going to get that reinstalled and make sure that the money drops on down into the vault. And Matt on this telephone does have his coin box, and this is the initial checkout of this telephone. So he has his coin box, and that's cool. And this telephone's in very good condition because he's had it painted, and he did it right. He had it powder coated. We're also going to make sure that the bells up top here ring for him. These seem to be a little loose here now, but it is the initial checkout, and we're going to be doing all kinds of work to this telephone. We're also going to install a modular port so that all Matt has to do is bring a line cord in through the back and go ahead and plug into the modular port. Now this telephone is a little different than some of them. Each one of them, different models, will have different types of a keypad, and this is kind of a cool design because it's got raised frame around each number, so it's pretty cool. And we're going to spin the body around. I want to show you the back of this telephone where the keypad is at, and then we have our normal plug that plugs our base into our body, and then you have your keypad and your connection. Going to be working on this telephone, and we're just going to take a short break, and we're going to get more video of this telephone as we move forward into the conversion of this telephone and finish it up. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we've are in the middle of the process of repairing this telephone and getting it straightened out. Now, the main PC board of this payphone has been removed, and there's no need for it. Now, another issue is some of these payphones, depending on what they've done to them over the years, and some of them could be that way from the factory, some of them have a keypad that's in this unit here for the hook switch that goes into the body and the front panel. And some of them have keypads with tone generators in them, and some don't. So this one just happened to have a keypad in it, but we have to reconfigure everything. So what we're in the middle of doing is we're configuring our keypad so that we can use that. And then also what we had to do, since on these handsets with a security cable, you might get one or two where the transmitter cap and the receiver cap will come off. Most of the time they're glued into place because they're security. And so what happens is we had to change the receiver capsule and use a receiver capsule with the impedance that we need, because the old receiver capsule wasn't any good anyway, and it was the wrong impedance also. So we had to cut the cap off. So this is not for the squeamish. We have to cut the caps on, and we do that quite often. And what we do is we epoxy them back on. So what we're in the middle of doing here is I'm going to go ahead and make our connection to our analyzer, and you may hear it kick in and engage and seize the line. So now what I can do is I can give you some dial tone. And what I want to do is use the keypad. Now I've got everything where I can't really move anything, but I've got everything wired now. And if you watch the keypad, I will go ahead and dial some numbers, but the analyzer will show our numbers that we're dialing. And I'm going to dial a 2. I'm going to go down and get a 6 and come back to the 2. And then I'm going to walk through the keypad. And I'm going to end in a 2. Now what I want to do is I want to transmit into the handset, and if you watch that red light on the analyzer light, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello. Hello. So now what we can do is we can hang up. I'll make our connection again, and I'll walk through our numbers again. And I want to end in a 2. Hang up, seize the line, give you some dial tone. Now we can move the line over to a regular telephone line. I'll give you some dial tone. And I want to call a time and temp number.
Good evening. When you need body work, we're a short drive away. Offenburg Body Center, 234-0330. Today is Thursday, August 30th. The time is 6:56. Current temperature, 98 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Partly cloudy tonight, lows around 70. Friday becoming cloudy with rain likely by afternoon, high in the mid-80s.
Okay. So we know that the telephone is at the point now where we've got our keypad straightened out and our configuration, and our handset has a different receiver capsule in it for the right impedance. Now what we need to do is work on some of the basic connections for the modular port, reinstall the bells, and get that circuit built again, because if you remember, we removed the main PC board, so we have to create that circuit now for the bell and make all of our connection blocks and points, and get our plug wired for the way we need it, so that we can walk up to the telephone with the body of the phone once the baseboard is mounted on the wall, and then we can just simply plug the body of the phone into the base. And so once we get all that straightened out, then we'll work on the money dropping through and getting our chute back into position where it belongs. So we're just in the middle of the process, and I wanted to get a little video of that for you. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be working on the telephone, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're finished up with this telephone now, and so what we have here is I have it open, and I'm going to show you what we ended up doing with this telephone, and then we're going to put it together, and then we'll do some final checks on it. So what we had to do was remove the programming board and get rid of that altogether. It was of no use, and it's not going to do anything but cause problems in the future, so we get rid of those types of boards. We went through the coin validator, made it sure that everything was falling through properly, all the money. And now that there's a dual port installed, and his bell circuit was redesigned, so that's all connected, Matt can take any kind of a line cord, any length, any color, and simply plug it right into the unit. And so now he's made his connection to the line. You take the body and you just simply plug that right into the bottom. So we have all of our connections now, and there's plenty of cord to be able to do whatever you have to do when you're hanging this telephone. So another issue was we got him a T-key. So now we have a T-key, and he's not going to have any locks in this telephone because the T-key is enough, basically. And I don't know too many people that just carry around a T-key with them. So now we've made all of our connections and our rewiring, and got our tone generator, our network, and everything straightened out in the front panel of the telephone. And so now what we can do is we'll go ahead and ring the unit. I'll let that go a couple times since we had to redesign that ring circuit. Let it go one more. I'll go ahead and answer the telephone. I want to give you some dial tone. And so now what we'll do is we'll go through the unit and put it back together again, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and so what we can do is we can go ahead and start out checking this unit out, and we can go ahead and ring the unit. We'll let that go a few times. We want to give you some dial tone. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and dial our numbers. So if you watch the analyzer, you'll watch the numbers go by. I'm going to end in a 2. I'm going to go ahead and hang up. Give you some dial tone. We'll do that one more time. We'll end in a 2. And then now what I want to do is I want to transmit into the handset. And if you watch this red light on the analyzer, every time you see that red light, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hello, hello. And like we said earlier in the video, we actually had to take this receiver and cut it off because you can't get them off on these security cables most of the time. And so we actually, which is not uncommon, we had to cut this off the cap and then install a newer receiver inside with the impedance that we wanted. So that happens a lot. We have to do that sometimes. So now what we can do is we can take this line and move it over to a regular line. We'll go ahead and give you some dial tone. And we'll call, say, like a time and temp number.
Good afternoon. 2 Ford stores, one great company, Offenburg Ford, a short drive to great value. Today is Saturday, September 1st. The time is 5:27. Current temperature 90 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast.
Scattered showers today, occasional showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, heavy rainfall, highs in the 80s, occasional rain this evening, lows around 70, showers likely on Sunday, highs in the 80s.
Okay, so now we can, we'll call another number, we'll call my number, give you some dial tone, and it'll be busy. Okay, now another thing we can do is we can take some money, we'll go ahead and take some change, and we'll go ahead and start dropping it in. I'm going to go ahead and do a quarter. I'm going to do a dime, nickel, quarter, dime, nickel, one more quarter, go a dime, and then one last nickel. And although this payphone is not going to work like it did out in the public, Matt's just going to use it in his garage, and he's got this really cool idea of having some cards printed up for the front panel here with Matt's Garage on it, and he's going to go to a printing company and have that done. He already took this telephone and had it cleaned up and had it powder coated. So, I mean, it's a really cool telephone, and once he gets his printing done for his informational cards with his name on it, if he wants to, I'd like him to send some pictures in to us so we could see him at the shop. But it's a really cool payphone. He's going to be able to enjoy this telephone once he's done. I know he's put a lot of work into it and time and effort, so he'll get it hung here pretty soon. Now what we want to do is I want to go ahead and move the cord over a little bit, but I want to take our T key and I want to open our vault. And I want to pull the cash box out. So now we have our money, and all we have to do is dump it out. And we have our change back, and Matt can use this as a bank. Now, basically, even with a T key, he could probably put things in here, because I have customers that tell me, go ahead and slide that back in, and then we'll go ahead and lock it up. I don't know too many people that carry around a T key, and they hide things in these vaults, because these telephones, if they're hung on a wall and they're nice and secure, you're just not going to get into them. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.